How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Patriot DIY channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about what I think is the best tonneau cover or bed cover on the market. And not just that, it's a bed cover and toolbox combo. All right, guys, now when I got my new truck, I knew I wanted to get a bed cover for it, but I've always been a toolbox guy, and it was really hard for me to justify sacrificing the toolbox just so I could have a bed cover. I just didn't see any really good options for tool storage underneath a bed cover without having to completely open the bed cover. I just didn't like that until I found the American work cover from Truck Covers USA. It's not only a super strong top of the line retractable bed cover, but it's also integrated into their toolbox, which is awesome. So I get the quick access storage of a toolbox that I'm used to, but I also get the bed cover, and that is pretty hard to beat. Now this thing has a ton of awesome features that I think really makes it the best in the market right now. We're going to be talking about all that stuff. We'll talk about the long list of things I do like and the one thing that I struggled with. But before we do that, guys, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. All right, guys, now let's first take a look at the bed cover itself, because you can get just the bed cover if you don't want the toolbox. You can see this has a slatted roll-up design, so it does retract into itself, which I think is really awesome. I don't like the ones that roll up or flip top. I don't like all that stuff. I want it to tuck up in and out of the way where you don't even see it when it's open. I think that is awesome. They did a great job with that. This is made of a super strong aluminum, and the top of this bed cover can actually hold up to 500 pounds. So you can actually store stuff on top of this if you wanted to. Let's take a look at how the cover works real quick. You do have a center locking mechanism here in the middle that does come with a key, so you can unlock this and unroll it without taking the tailgate down. Now, honestly, I never really use that because it locks automatically, and I also have a locking tailgate. So there's really no reason for me to have to pull out my key and unlock this every time, when all you really need to do is drop the tailgate. You'll see right here it has a little release tab. I'm just gonna pull that and then push it back. And it retracts all the way back into a cavity inside the toolbox, so you're not losing any bed space at all. You're also going to notice it has this nice long pull strap here. So when you're ready to close this thing, all you need to do is pull on that, and you can hear that locking in place. Now let's do that one more time. And you can see that if you wanted to, you can lock this in 1 foot increments all the way down. So if you don't want to close it all the way, you can lock it in those preset positions and it's not going anywhere. Of course, when you do want to close it all the way, you just pull it, latch it, and it's good to go. It's not moving anywhere. It locks itself, which is great. Now, Truck Covers USA has put a lot of detail into this. First, it's got a really nice sheen finish on it. It's not super shiny, but it's not totally matte either. I think it's a really nice finish on this thing, real durable. Another really nice detail that I appreciate is the fact that since it does have this strap, when I open it all the way up, I don't just want this strap flapping in the wind. So on the bottom of your strap here, you have some Velcro. You're also going to have some Velcro here on the inside of your rail. So if you want to, you can just attach it right there. That's going to secure it so it's not flying all over the place. Now, while this bed cover is mostly waterproof, it can collect some water in the channels of the track and into the box back there that it retracts into. Now, Truck Covers USA has thought of that, and they've given you drain tubes. You have one on all 4 corners, so you can see that I've just routed that into a factory hole in the truck. I've done the same thing up at the front, so any water that collects in the channel or in the box back here is able to just drain down and underneath the truck. So I think that is a really nice feature there. Now, Truck Covers USA gives you a lot of really nice features with this setup already, but they do have add-on features as well. You can see that I opted for the Yakima tracks here on the side of my bed cover. That's going to allow me a lot of expansion in the future if I want to add a bed rack or tie down locations all the way down the bed of the truck. I have that ability. That's a really nice add-on feature that you can get through Truck Covers USA. This cover was not difficult to install at all. I think in all it took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get this thing installed. And you can see here that the way your side rails are going to attach is with these clips here that clip to the bed of your truck. It gives you 3 on each side. So it's super strong, super sturdy. And again, you can see they have those drain hoses that you can drain the water out from. Really super clean, super slick install. And again, you can see here that other than the toolbox, I have full bed access. It doesn't take up any extra space in the bed like those roll up or backflip type tonneau covers. This one still gives you full access to the bed with the exception of the toolbox up front. So the American work cover system is really made up of 3 main components. You have your side rails, you have your canister here in the front, and that's where your tonneau cover is going to roll up into, and then you have your toolbox. So let's get in here and talk about this toolbox. This thing has some really cool features and still gives you a ton of quick access storage. Now right off the bat, I can tell you one thing I love about this is that it has the handles on the side. You don't have to reach around over here to try to get to the handles. And I really like that feature in a toolbox. And you can see here they have a really nice hard semi-gloss finish on this. Super durable, but it's not the traditional diamond plate that you see in a lot of toolboxes. Now I really like that. I think this is a cleaner look, but still very rugged and durable. Now just looking at the outside of the toolbox here for a minute, again, you can see that nice kind of hammered black finish on there. I think that looks really good. Another thing you're going to notice is this weather stripping that goes all the way around. So it's going to be very waterproof. And another thing that I love is I've had a lot of trouble over the years with toolboxes, with the latches not working well or really having to lift up on the lid. Now watch how this works when I pull the latch. It's going to go ahead and pop right open for you and super easy. It's got 2 gas struts on either side that's just going to easily lift that thing right up for you. Now let's take a quick look down here on the inside. So you can see you have a shallow tray here, and underneath this is where the canister is that houses your tonneau cover when it's rolled up. But you're still not losing that storage space. You still have an area here where you can put a ton of gear and tools and things like that. There's going to be about 9 inches of space here. So you have a nice long shallow tray here, as well as a little bit of room here on the sides. And then back here you have your deeper box. The entire toolbox front to back is going to be 20 inches, and your deep cavity here is going to be 10 inches wide by about 15 inches deep. Now that is still a ton of storage that you can fit a lot of stuff in right here. Another really nice feature that they include in this are these pull-out trays. That you are going to come with 2 of these. I have one of them taken out right now. But these are really nice, durable pull-out tool trays that you can use, and they fit right here above all your cargo. You can slide them around anywhere you want to, but it does have a little bit of slip-resistant tape here on the bottom to keep it from sliding around too much while you're driving. Now this toolbox by itself is really nice, very sturdy, great build quality in this thing. You can really tell the attention to detail and the quality of workmanship that went into this. But what really makes it special is the additional add-on features that Truck Covers USA makes available with this system. The first is right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you. You have a nice bright LED strip that goes the full length of the toolbox to light up everything down here inside your toolbox at night. That is something that I've always struggled with, is trying to find a reliable light source inside my toolbox. Now this is going to be wired directly into your truck, so as long as your truck has power, your toolbox light is going to have power. And I think that is crucial. I can't tell you how many times I've been searching through a toolbox on my truck in low light or nighttime conditions, and I just can't see anything. I'm trying to fumble around with flashlights or headlamps, and you don't have to worry about that with the American work cover and this LED light feature that they offer. Another amazing feature that I've never seen in any toolbox before. Now there may be a couple other companies out there, but I've never seen this before, and it really just kind of blew my mind. So this toolbox is lockable with the key provided by Truck Covers USA, but they also have optional power actuators that you can put on this toolbox so that you can operate it with your key fob for your truck. So all I have to do to lock it, you hear that, is hit the lock button on my key fob, and my toolbox is going to lock. And then to unlock it, just hit the unlock on your key fob, and she unlocks. Now that is awesome. Bam. Bam. Now it's nice to have that backup key option, but as long as you have this wired into your truck and you can operate it with the key fob, you don't have to worry about carrying around that key all the time, figuring out where to store it. Did you bring the key with you? Did you lose the key? You don't have to worry about any of that. Again, as long as your truck has power and you can unlock your truck, you can also lock and unlock your toolbox, and that is an awesome feature. Another thing I noticed is they have a really durable double locking feature here. It's all made of really heavy duty hardware and stuff like that. So the downside to a lot of cheaper toolbox options is that eventually your latches and stuff end up failing you because they're made of cheaper hardware, cheaper materials. That's not going to be a problem with the American work cover from Truck Covers USA. Everything is made of really top-notch quality and quality materials. All right guys, now that we've covered all the features of this bed cover and toolbox combo, let's talk about the installation. Now, again, the installation of the cover and toolbox itself was pretty straightforward. They give you really good instructions on how to do that. Again, it probably took me an hour and a half, 2 hours to get it done. No real problems during that. But I did tell you there was one thing I struggled with, and that's going to be the wiring of the toolbox components, the LED light and the locking mechanism. Now, Truck Covers USA unfortunately doesn't really give you any guidance at all on how to wire that up. And I do understand that there is kind of a liability issue if you have people wiring it up wrong or something like that, especially with different truck models and all the models that they offer this cover for. It would be pretty impossible to keep up with the instructions for every single year model and the changes made to those trucks. So the wiring itself was not very difficult. The problem was trying to find where to wire these components to, because your locking mechanism has to be wired to the locking mechanism of the doors on your truck. And for the light, you need to find a constant 12-volt power source to get power to the light. And if you've ever looked at the wiring on these trucks and stuff, you're gonna see hundreds of different color wires that you have no idea what any of them go to. So I did struggle with that. Obviously, I did get it done. And the good news for you is, at least the newer F-250 owners, is I've done all the legwork for you. I'm gonna show you exactly how to get these wired in. So up top is pretty simple. Inside the toolbox, you're gonna have the lead wires for the locking mechanism and for the light. All you need to do is route those down underneath the truck, and I'll show you where to go from there. If you look in here at the toolbox, your wiring for your power actuator comes from right here. That's gonna be your blue and green wire. You have the same thing on the other side. You can use whatever color you want, but I wired my black wire to the blue wire on the toolbox and my red wire to the green wire on the toolbox. And I just pushed that down into this hole in the back of the toolbox there. There's an existing hole that's already there. And you can see here that comes out underneath the toolbox. There's my blue going to black, green going to red. Again, you can use whatever color you want as long as you remember what color you used. And those are connected just using spade connectors. Come down here and I go through this punch out in the front of the bed of the truck. I just drilled a hole here, pushed all my wires through, and they drop down below the truck. Now I'm up under the driver's side of the truck, right above my running boards here. And all I did was I have my wire coming from the passenger side of the toolbox and my wire coming from the driver's side of the toolbox. And I joined those together right here using splice connectors. And I'm rolling a picture of that right here. So I just wired left and right side of the toolbox together to one set of wires. And that one set of wires, I just zip tied all the way down this main electrical line here to the front of the truck, right underneath the driver's seat where we're going to access the inside of the truck. All right, now if you look right here, now this is right underneath the driver's side floor mat. There's a rubber plug right here that gives you access from underneath the truck into the truck. Now again, this is right underneath the driver's side floor mat. All I did was drill a hole here to run my wires in so I could get to that driver's side kick panel where we're going to do our wiring. All right, now we're in here. This is the driver's side kick panel right beside your driver's seat. And if you pull this piece up, it's just held on with clips. You're just gonna pull that up and expose these wires. Now they are wrapped up with some green tape. You're gonna wanna go ahead and unwind that green tape so you can actually get to it. Now again guys, this is on a 2022 F-250. So the wire colors may be different on older models of the F-250 and certainly could be different on different brands of trucks. But the wires you're looking for are the lock and unlock wires for the doors. And you'll notice right here, you have where one bundle of wires goes in under the seat and another bundle of wires that comes out this way under the seat. This is going towards the back of the truck. This is going towards the front of the truck. This is where you're going to be looking, okay? You're not this bundle that goes towards the back of the truck. You want the bundle that goes towards the front of the truck. And if you look down in here at these wires, you're looking for a gray with a brown stripe and a brown with a green stripe. Now there are multiple wires that have that coloration. So for example, there's a brown and green, but you see it's wound up with this blue and gray. We don't want that. Here's another gray and brown, but again, that's wound up with a blue wire. So we don't want that one. We want this larger gauge, standalone brown with the green stripe. You're gonna wire that to your green wire on the toolbox. So I have a red wire going to my green wire. So brown and green goes to the green wire on your toolbox. And then you want this larger gauge, standalone gray with a brown stripe. That's gonna go to your blue wire on the toolbox. So mine's black, but that goes to my blue wire on the toolbox. And the way I spliced this in was just with these little splice connectors here. So your main truck wire is going to go into this channel here, and then you're just going to push the wire that you're wiring in down into the other hole, and then you're just going to crimp it down. Now for the lights, I brought those wires in the same way I did on the driver's side for the locking mechanism, except for the lights I routed over here to the passenger side. That's where one of your fuse boxes is going to be on the F-250. And once you've routed it to this location right here, the install is really very simple. So all you need to do is come around here to your fuse box, and you're going to want to find a fuse that has constant power. And all you're going to do is piggyback off of that with one of these fuse taps. So on the 2022 F-250, the one that I use is fuse location number 3 that goes to the lumbar support on the driver's seat. It's a 7.5 amp fuse, and all I did was I used one of these fuse tap wires and I tapped right into that fuse location. I've done the same thing down here for another accessory. You can see this a little bit better. All it does is your original fuse goes here, and then you're going to put a secondary fuse for your new accessory right here, and it just taps right in, and that's going to give you all the power you need for your light. Now your light in that toolbox does not need very much power, and that's really all you need to do. All right guys, that is it for the American work cover from Truck Covers USA. And like I said, with the build quality of this thing and the fact that you get a top-notch retractable tonneau cover with a toolbox combo, I really do think this is the best you can get on the market. And the only real downside to it is going to be the cost. Now, of course, if you're going to get the quality and features that you see in this cover and toolbox combo, you're gonna have to pay for it. That's just a fact, that's just how it is. And this particular cover just had everything that I wanted, and I was willing to pay that price. And as always guys, if you're interested in getting one of these for yourself, I will have links to it down in the description below so you can get one for yourself. Thanks for watching guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.